welcome back to Beauty Bee and to another Dupetorial. This is a series I do on my channel where I take a new release, in this case the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette, and I do the look that most draws me to that palette using shades that I already own. Now this Lunar Beauty palette is very appealing to me. I think it's really interesting how Manny has mixed the sort of warm neutrals with these interesting deeper blues and grays. It feels moody, it feels very nighttime, and I think it's a really pretty palette. I do think that Manny has a real knack for combining interesting colors, creating unusual color stories. So the look that I want to do today is going to focus mostly on the golds. I want to work inside to outside, from light gold to copper, add some blue in the outer corner, and blend everything out with those sort of rosy and peachy matte shades that he has in the middle row. Right now I will be putting up a picture of the palette that has the shades that I'll be using in this look, or the equivalent to the shades that I will be using in this look, starred. Obviously you don't need what I'm using to do this look, and you don't need the palette to do this look, so make use of what you have and enjoy it. I'm going to be starting with this very light gold on a detail brush. I'm just going to stick that in the inner corner. I'm quickly discovering that my viewfinder is actually the best mirror for me currently in this spot, so apologies if that is really annoying to you to see me not looking at the camera, but we gotta do what we gotta do sometimes. Okay, so now I am going to move on to the majority of the lid, and for that I'm going to use this gold from Wet n Wild. I'm just going to take that on my finger, and I'm going to put that over, I would say roughly to the midpoint, just a little bit past the midpoint of my eye. I'm not worried too much about if I went further out than I intended, because I'm going to cover it all up with this copper shade. Again, just on a finger. I'm really having to dig into that shade because it's a Franken shadow that I made a few weeks ago, and I'm not awful at making Franken shadows, but I'm definitely not good at it because I feel like the performance is never quite there. That is something I would like to get better at. Okay, I am going to layer up a little bit more of the gold as well, because I feel like the orange is really, the coppery shade is really overpowering it right now. So I'm just going to go into more. Really build that up. Now that I've built up most of the color on my lid, I want to start blending things out. I am going to focus, I think, mostly on using this peachy shade. And I'm going to take that just on a really big fluffy crease brush. This one, in fact, and just blend out all of those edges. I'm not super worried about adding a ton of color. I just want no harsh edges in this look. So that's most of my crease done. I do want to add just a little bit more interest to my crease using this sort of rosy shade with a little bit of a purple to it. And for that same brush, I'm just going to focus that on the outer half of my crease. Kind of turning the corner on the outer, kind of rounding the corner on the outer part of my lid. Okay. I think I might need to go in at the very end and blend over everything, but that's pretty standard for me to do anyway. So now we get to the blue, which I think is what is really going to make this look like it came from the Manny palette. I'm going to go into this quite deep matte primary blue on this little pencil brush right here. I'm just going to put that in the outer corner. Hopefully I can actually build up some color. This is one of those shades that just goes 0 to 60 real fast. Add a little more color. Probably a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. So I know that this blue is going to look like a bruise real fast if I try to do a lot of blending with it. So what I'm going to do instead is blend it in using the copper. Just get some more copper on my finger and sort of rub over that to blend it in. And it will turn part of it brown because orange plus blue, pigment mixing. But that's okay. So now I'm going to work just with my finger for a second to start blending the outer edges of the blue. Okay. I am liking where that is at. I do think I'm going to line under my eyes, but I'm going to stick with the copper again for that. Just on a smudger brush. Okay, I think that's the eyes. Now I'm going to put on some mascara off camera and I'll be back in just a sec. Alright, I put on both top and bottom mascara, and now I'm going to do cheeks and lips, and then we're out of here. So I think for cheeks, what I'm going to do is kind of mix my blush brush into sort of all of the peachy shades in this palette. Here, a little bit here, but mostly focusing on this one with a little bit of that pink too. I want this to be very glowy. I'm just gonna swipe that on. A little more. So I think that's looking good for blush. I do want to add just a little bit more highlight, and for that I'm going to use this pink shade. I'm just gonna trace the apple of my cheek, pull it back a little bit further. I do think I can use a little bit more blending on this side with the blush. So I've got my clean fan brush here. Kind of wet, but whatever. I washed all my brushes yesterday, and this one's always the slowest to dry. For the lips, I think I'm going to use a sample. I have this little blister pack of the NARS Afterglow Lip Balm in Orgasm. It also came with its own little brush, which much appreciated. It'll probably speed through like 45 seconds of me fumbling trying to get this package open, but I'll see you on the other side. I might have underestimated the time it would take me to open that blister pack. I think I said 45 seconds. I'll have to time it out and post and see how long it really was. But I've got my little lip brush, doe foot. I assume it does not go on that pigmented. Oh, there it is, very pretty. Oh, I like that. I thought that while I was traveling, it might be the perfect time to bring these little samples along. Well, this little sample, and just use it up. One less thing that needs to go in the suitcase on the way home. Oh, I do like that. It's very pretty. So here is my finished look. I really like it, and I am glad that I can kind of scratch the itch of the Lunar Beauty palette without spending the, I think it's $49 on the palette itself. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing if you did. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye!